Hey guys, I'm waiting to be shared into the group, so just hang on a little bit and I'll be starting right at 2 o'clock. I'm Julie with Nothing Is Wasted Designs, and I'm going to be here, but I'm not going to start for another couple of minutes. So I'm going to watch Ollie or Lolly at the who's finishing up. You're on Grace Creations page, or you're on my Nothing Is Wasted Designs page, depending upon which way you decided to hop on. Hey Lisa, how are you?
But anyway, I will find it, and I may have not been on before.
Hey Jody, come on
I'm
in.
going to put some link right up.
We're going to get started here in just a little bit. I'm going to give it one more minute.
And like I said, I thought I had it laying right here beside me.
And see what we get. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for sprinkling that out there. I'm going to see. I don't have very good luck. I don't know what I'm doing wrong that I can't get. I refreshed the page, but I don't seem to see myself come up in the Grace Creations page. Anybody have any idea what I need to do differently other than just refresh the page? I'm all ears. Okay, I'm in the group. Here we go, y'all. Let me see if it's going to work this time. Oh, I am. Okay, so I don't know what happened the other day when I couldn't get myself to come up on the Grace Creations page. But I'm Julie with Nothing Is Wasted Designs. For those of you who are new to my page, the name of my page comes from John chapter 6 verse 12, where Jesus was feeding the 5,000, and after he had finished feeding everyone, he told his disciples to pick up the leftovers so that nothing was wasted. And so when I started on this crafting journey, God kind of led me on this crafting journey. And hey Bella, come on in. Anyway, I asked him what name he wanted me to have, and he led me to John chapter 6 verse 12, and I thought, okay, I get it. So Nothing Is Wasted Designs. God uses all things for good. He doesn't waste anything. It's kind of like a mosaic. If you take a bunch of crushed glass and put it together in an art form, then you have something beautiful. If you just leave the crushed glass, in a clump, and sweep it up and don't do anything with it, then it's not as beautiful. But God takes everything that happens in our lives and he turns it for good, and it's for his good, and we benefit from it because he allows us to partner with him and do the work that he created long before the beginning of time, right? So anyway, that's just a little bit about myself. I'm a former public school teacher. I taught public school for a little over 8 years, and then started a family and became a stay-at-home mom. And then after I became a stay-at-home mom, I became a homeschool mom and taught math in the homeschool community. Oh no, Debbie, what did you do now? Oh, you poor thing. They're always hounding you, aren't they? We need to pray that the book just leaves you alone. But anyway, so I became a homeschool mom, and then after homeschooling, during homeschooling, I became a homeschool math teacher. I became one of the people that people looked me up and said, hey, can you help my son with math or whatever? And kind of the way we worked it was whatever our children were learning, the people the students in the homeschool community were welcome to come along and join us and be part of whatever we were doing. So if I was teaching pre-algebra, then anyone who needed pre-algebra could come, and we had tables set up in our Oh, I hear you, Debbie. we had tables, like pub tables, set up in our den, and I had an overhead projector and a screen. I mean, just like a little classroom. And I had a lot of fun with it. And, you know, God has had me do different things at different times. And I said all of that to say this, that the newest thing that He has had me do is to start a craft page. I started with Chalk Couture, which is what I'm going to demonstrate today. And then I went on to learn other forms of, you know, other medium forms. You know, being a math teacher, I can't say that I really dove into the arts. I, you know, did a little bit of crafting. I sewed. I started sewing when I was about 13, 14 years old. And, you know, made Christmas presents and loved to wrap gifts and everything. But I never really did crafting on the level that I'm doing now. I can look at something and take it apart and say, oh, I can see how this is put together. But on my page is a whole new thing because I have to actually create. You know, you get inspiration from other places and everything, but there's another level of creating that takes place. And so this has been a stretch for me. I've learned a lot. I'm loving it. I'm growing. But, you know, the thing that, you know, that I love more than anything else is encouraging people to find the potential that God created them to be. That's where my real heart is, that and to see people walk in health. And so I don't know how all of this is going to work, you know, with the crafting, how all of that is going to pull together with the different things that God has been teaching me over the years, but I know that it will. You know, I really have a heart for one day to do what's called prophetic painting. And that's where you paint something as the Holy Spirit, you know, gives you visions or ideas or whatever, and then to give those things away so that will speak into people's lives, and it'll be something, you know, concrete, tangible, that they can have in their hand to be reminded that God sees them, God loves them, and that they are not forgotten. Because a lot of times, you know, when we're walking through difficult times, we feel like, God, do you see me? Yeah, He does. And so if you don't get anything else from, you know, what I do today, I just want you to know that God sees you, and He is for you, and He has a plan and a purpose for you, and everything that happens in your life, He's going to use for good. All right, so with all that said, let's get crafting. I am going to work with a bunch of vegetables and fruits. And this is one big stencil that I actually cut apart. And this is a Chalk Couture stencil. We have radishes. We have some, I think these can be either orange or lemon slices. I'm not sure how much of these I'm going to actually use. Hey, Beverly, come on in. Hey, Nancy, good to see ya. We've got a fig. We have a pomegranate. We have an apple on one side, a lemon on the other. We have a turnip, a tomato, the inside of a tomato, some corn, and a couple of carrots. And then the other thing that I have is, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not, it's like this little bag. So I'm thinking I may do the vegetables onto, I'm going to do a canvas tote bag that you see right here. Let me hold it up. So this is a really nice heavy-duty canvas bag that comes from Chalk Couture. I do have a Chalk Couture website if any of y'all are interested. It looks like I ironed this, but I don't like the way that it's ironed, so I'm going to iron it again before we get started. And so we're going to make, you know, it's kind of going to be like a little vegetable bag or a grocery bag, or, you know, however we want to use it. Let me turn my heat press on. I have a variety of different colors of ink. We're going to be working with ink today as opposed to Chalk Couture's paste. And let's see what we got here. But I do work with a variety of different companies. I work with Essential Stencil. There's a foil company, Artist, Painting Artist. I can never remember the name until it's in front of me. All right, I'm trying to get this flat, y'all, is what I'm doing. And so I'm going to take and I'm going to spray some water on this. And I am going to bring my heat press over here and see if I can flatten this out, because I do not like the way that this is laying. You know how when you sew, sometimes the, hey Cindy, you did a great job. How when you sew, when you have a seam, if you don't pull those stitches out flat, then it doesn't look as nice. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is trying to get this to lay flat. And then we're going to get to what we call inking in the Chalk Couture world. All right, here we go. All right, that's better. That's better. All right, this is, like I said, this is a heavy duty, I don't know, grade of canvas bag. It's cotton, and you know, canvas bags come in all different varieties and grades and stuff like that. And this is a really heavy duty one, so it's going to last for a while. So I'm going to come in here. Another thing that Chalk Couture has is what's called an ink mat, and I'm not sure if I really need it. I've used it before. Hold on, it's loud. This crinkly stuff is just really, really loud. Okay. I'm not sure. This is so heavy duty. I have never had a problem with any bleeding happening with the Chalk Couture stencils, and with this bag, but I'm trying to decide if I really want to use this or not. And I think I don't, y'all. I think I don't. So just so that you know, there is a, this is a sticky mat, and, oh, I know, Lisa. Isn't that the truth? You know, I'm not even going to get started on that. All right, so here we go. So this is what I'm thinking. Now, I am the kind of crafter, and I'm sure there are a lot of you that join me in this, that I have an idea of, when I say idea, I mean like pieces of things. Like I want to use a canvas bag and some vegetables. But I do not, yeah, well, let me know if you need one. I can help you with that. I do not get like this full picture vision and then follow this vision in my head. I have like snippets of, I want to work with vegetables, I want to work with a canvas bag, and I want to have something that I can use to carry, you know, like groceries or whatever. So so just follow along with me, because I guess I'm saying all of that to say this. I'm going to do a little bit at a time. I'm going to see where the project's going to take me, and then I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to go to the next step. And that's, you know, in a nutshell, that's kind of how I follow God too, is, you know, all right, I'm going to take the stencil off of this, and I probably should, before I do this, let's just do kind of an arrangement of what we think we want to get on here. All right, hang on. I guess I better do just a little bit of some kind of planning. But, you know, Scripture tells us that we're to walk by faith and not by sight. And, you know, every day is a new beginning, and every day God has something different for us to do. And, you know, we just do the one thing that he tells us to do, or the next thing that he tells us to do, and then he tells us to do something else, and we just do that, and we keep on until he calls us home, right? That's just, that's my walk with the Lord, is I do a little bit each day as he tells me. All right, y'all. I'm going to start with the carrot, and then we'll just keep seeing where we go with this. So what I have done is, and I'm going to get some tape out so that I can protect the edges so that I don't go off onto my canvas. Some of these, because this was one big stencil and I cut it apart, some of these designs are really, really close to the edge, and so I'm going to just take some painter's tape and go around here and protect the edges. Painter's tape is a wonderful thing. All right, here we go. I'm making sure that I've got this nice and flat. I'm going to protect this area over here. And Chalk Couture has ink, and we also have paste. And the ink is for things like on fabric. You can do napkins, towels. You can use it for on coffee mugs. And when you're working with ink, what you want to do is we're going to heat set the individual parts. And a lot of times, like the shirt that I have on, it says blessed. It's like silk screening, and I put the design on there, and then after I get the design on there, all right, I need a squeegee. I should have gotten one of those out. Let me grab several. I'm going to be using lots of little lots of different colors. So here we go. But I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, the ink, it needs to be heat set, and it is for a permanent. Here we go, y'all. All right, keep your fingers crossed. Here we go. The ink is when you want something permanent. The paste is when, you know, Chalk Couture has reusable surfaces, and when you're working with a reusable surface, then you're going to want to work with the paste, because that way you can use a board eraser and some water and erase it off of the board and change the design without having to, you know, buy a whole new frame or something like that. That was one of the things I liked about Chalk Couture when I started, was the fact that, oh, well, you know, instead of buying a lot of different individual items, I can just change the design on one of the boards, and it'll take up a lot less space. Well, that was good until I decided to become a designer, and then I have lots and lots and lots of things that are around the house. All right, make sure I got the tip of that carrot. I'm kind of concerned I covered it up a little bit. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to do the carrot. Let me put this over here, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to do the top of the carrot with some green. This is the color Meadow. Just being careful not to go off onto my surface. I'm going to try real hard not to go into the orange. So far I did okay. I'm not expecting this to be a long project, but that, you know, that never happens. I always think it's going to take me maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then an hour later, here we are. So I, like to go back, and at some point, I like to add bling, and that, I don't know, I think I might keep this kind of plain and not add bling, but we'll see. We'll see how this project dictates what it gets. All right, it looks like I've got this covered. Making sure it's nice and saturated. The ink does absorb into the fabric, so you want to put a good amount of ink on there. And I have to be careful to do this over my project because I drop stuff on my projects all the time. All right, here we go, y'all. It looks like I've got everything covered. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to put it in some water. Let me get this out of the way. This is my list of who everybody is talking today. So I can get to my water. I'm going to lift this up. Oh my gosh. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I want to be careful not to get, oh wow. Okay, I'm going to put this in the water so that the ink does not dry in the silkscreen area. When you're working with Chalk Couture, oh, look at that, y'all. Looks good, looks good. When you're working with Chalk Couture, the ink, I don't think I'm gonna need orange again, but I'm not sure. But I'm gonna dry this. I want to dry this, and then I'm going to I think I'm going to heat set it. Normally I would do the whole thing and then heat set it, but I think I want to heat set it before I move to the next stage. Can y'all see the carrots? They looks pretty good. I'm thinking that we're not going to get all of these on here because I don't see it fitting in that little bag, but we'll see how it goes. You could just put one carrot on here and be done with it. You don't have to add a whole bunch of things in here. But the fabric does drink up a lot of the ink. So if you start working with Chalk Couture, you'll recognize, you'll get used to making sure that you put enough ink on there so you don't have any blotches or anything. And we'll see how much time I have at the end of the hour to see if I can show y'all how to clean these transfers. All right, that feels good. All right, I'm gonna take and put this squeegee in my water. And I am so accident prone that I'm gonna put the lid on this orange, and if I need it again, I will come back and use it again later. I'm gonna put this in my water for the same reason. And I'm gonna put a cap on this green. I think I'm going to come back and use it, but I don't want to take any chances. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to heat set this. Okay? I'm going to get a piece of parchment paper, and I am going to take my Cricut heat press, and for 30 seconds I'm gonna have to do this in 2 sections because the design is a little bit too big for me to cover it all in once. And what I'm doing is I'm putting 305 degrees of heat for 30 seconds on the top And I'm not going to turn this inside out right now, but I will probably when I get offline. And then I will do 305 degrees of heat for 30 seconds on the inside. I'll turn the bag inside out. And then that way you're hitting it with heat from both sides. And we know that, you know, when we do laundry and everything, that we don't want to throw something in the dryer if we have a stain. So same concept. The heat is going to set this. All right, here we go. Now, why am I individually heat setting each vegetable or each fruit before I move on to the next one? Because I'm going to be layering this. And, you know, same concept of, all right, that's good. The same concept that goes with, all right, so this is what we have so far. See the steam coming off of it? I actually kind of like it with just the carrot on there. What do y'all think? Should we keep adding the vegetables? Hey, Arkansas, come on in. How you doing, Jeanette? It's kind of nice just having that. I'm going to go on. Let's just keep going so that y'all can see the different things. All right, so now I think I'm going to put some corn in here. This bag, the idea is I want to have this bag over top of stuff. We'll see. I personally think that you could take each one of these vegetables or fruits or whatever, there's a variety of them, and you could, like if you had like a retreat, like a crafting retreat or something like that, or you know, a women's group from your church or something, you could buy the whole sheet of the all right, let me get this on here. You could buy like the whole sheet with all the vegetables, cut it up, and then everybody could just put one vegetable on their, all right, how do I want to do this? I'm going to bring this down a little bit right here. All right, put the big rocks in first, right? Isn't that what we do? All right, let's see what that's going to do. That might stick out of the bag. That may not be bad. But this would be a fun project for a group, and what you could do is just put, all right, again, going along the edges so that I don't, all right, go off onto the canvas. All right, let's do our corn. And I'm going to take a couple of different colors for the corn, and maybe let's do I'm going to come back with the light. I'm going to do a light and a dark green to just get a little bit of variation. And I have another tool. This is called a multi-tool, and it has like a smaller squeegee on it. See how it bends? And I'm going to use that to kind of get in here and see where this goes. All right, and then I'm going to do some yellow for the corn. Y'all ever heard the song Corn? I can never remember the words, but every time I hear the word corn, I think of the song Corn. All right, so here we go. I don't know if I finished my thought or not, but everybody could have like a canvas bag and their own vegetable on it. All right, here we go. I'm going to come in here, and because this is a little bit smaller, I'm going to take this tool. I thought I was going to do a variation of colors, but I got to talking and didn't, so I'm going to just do this all in one color. Maybe I need to do like the, I'm just going to kind of, this gives you this tool here gives you a little bit more control, oops, of where you're putting the ink. Okay, and I'm going to come down here. Just dipping in the can over here. I don't know if y'all can't see me. I'm just dipping in here. And just going along. Of course, you can take as much or as little time as you want on this. And I'm going to scrape up the excess ink. Get that off of the stencil. And then I think I want to do, maybe I'm going to go in with some white. I'm going to wipe this off, and I'm going to go in with some white. And this little end at the bottom, I'm going to do in white. The bag is cream, so I'm using white for that. And then I'm going to close this back up. We're going to go in for the yellow next. And I'm going to actually take my my squeegee, and I'm going to come over that. Taking my time. You'll notice that I'm going from like the edge, trying not to bring that green into the corn. Now I will, at the end of, oh shoot, I don't even know what I was going to say, y'all. I got so many things going through my mind, I don't know which one it was. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to put that. And I'm going to kind of wipe these off. All right, here we go. You ready? Let's look at it and see. Ooh, that's going to be really, really light. Oh well, that's okay. Love it, love it, love it. All right, going to put this in the battery. Looks like Facebook is going to reconnect. All right, here we go. And now we got a corn and some carrots. We're going to dry it, and then we're going to heat set it. Yeah, I had to take it apart. I actually did an apron that I will show y'all at the end of this. I did an apron as a birthday gift from my nephew. And he had some of the vegetables that he wanted and some that he didn't. And really the only way to achieve the finished product that he wanted was to cut everything apart. And I don't know, I just think it makes it more fun this way, Debbie. But thanks for your comment. And if you had a group of people that does like a crafting circle or something, and it's your turn to introduce something, you could do the whole thing over one piece, but I don't know. I just think it's more fun this way. And then everybody has a chance to do their own special, however they like. All right, let me see this. We're going to bring this. I think we're going to have some stuff sticking out of the bag, y'all. We'll see. I can't decide what color bag I want. Should we make the bag black? It can't be white because white won't show up very well on this. Hey, Linda. welcome to my page and welcome to Grace Creations. They are, this is their Grace Creations, what's the word I want to use? Help me out, Sherry. It's their production, and I am a guest presenter on their page. All right, so we've got that. I don't think I'm going to need yellow anymore, so yellow is going to come out of the way, so I have more space. Now, I think we need some peas in here. I've got some peas, so let's take and... What color bag do y'all think I should do? I'm thinking a blue or a black. Something that won't, or should we put a bag on here at all? Maybe we shouldn't even put a bag on here. Maybe we should just do the vegetables and let the vegetables speak for themselves. All right, so there is that. Let me see what we want to do next. I think we need a radish about right here. Don't y'all think? There's a radish. Do we want a radish or do we want a turnip? Radish will be red. The red's going to be next to the orange. Or we could do a turnip, which would be purple. Maybe we'll do the turnip. I think we'll do the turnip because that'll be purple. That'll be a different color. And I have this color here, this real pretty purple here, that we're going to turn into a turnip. Yeah, I think the idea, I think we should do a turnip. And that their leaves are going to come out here. But I need to, almost got ahead of myself. Y'all got to make sure you keep me in line. I had so much fun teaching public school, y'all. What do you do with I taught 13, 14, and 15-year-olds, and what a joy to teach. That was back in the 80s when I taught, long time ago. Hey, Mary. Welcome to Grace Creations, and I'm Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs. I'm glad to have you. For those of y'all, while we're waiting for this to heat set, for those of you that are looking for something to do, I want you to scan down the comments, and everywhere where you see a crafter's page, if it says follow next to their page, if you'll just click that follow button and join our pages, that will help all of us crafters out, and we would appreciate it. And if it says the word following next to the crafter's name, then that means that you're already following them, and thank you for that. So, all right, so here we go. We're going to heat set this. Normally I would not do this piece by piece like this, but because I'm layering this, see the steam coming off of it? Can y'all see the steam? See the steam? It looks like it's smoking. All right, so this is what we have so far. And I'm intentionally off-centering this. All right, so here we go. This is the math teacher in me. I always wanted everything perfectly centered and perpendicular and square and all of that, but that's not what our eyes want. Our eyes want things that are kind of offset. That's the radish, I think. And it's more there it is. All right, we're gonna do the turnip because we're gonna bring another color in here. All right, so I'm gonna bring this down about maybe, I'm gonna go over the corn a little bit. All right, here we go, y'all. Bring this kind of in here. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I have never layered this before. So those of you who know me, you know that I like to try new things. I like new and different things. And I'm willing to take the risk of messing up because the reward on the other side is that you learn something new. I have a saying that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. We need to all have people who know more than we do. All right, this has got to come a little bit flatter. We need to be around people who know more than us, and we need to have people who are underneath us so that we can teach those coming up. All right, here we go. And I'm hoping this is going to turn out. I don't know what it's going to do, y'all. I really don't. I'm like just winging it and giving it my best shot. And I'm going to kind of, this is all really, really close to the edge, so that's why you see me using so much tape. All right, I think I'll be okay over here, but because we don't want to go onto the carrot, I'm going to do that. All right, here we go. And I'm going to go for green for the turnip leaves. Where did my, oh, I put my green away. All right, it looks like I'm going to go through a lot of squeegees, y'all. All right, here we go. Okay, got kind of close with, all right, this is buckling on me, and what I'm gonna do, hope I'm not gonna mess this up. I wanna bring this down, and I'm gonna lift up this tape and unbuckle it so that it can lay flat. This green can actually use a little bit more water in it because it's kind of thick. All right, here we go. Oh, I went into the turnip. I didn't want to do that. What was I thinking? There we go. All right, well, I'm gonna just have to do the purple over the green and hope for the best, y'all. Let's see what happens. Fiddlesticks. All right, let's go with the purple. It's going to probably give me, all right, purple has, this is an art lesson here. Purple has red and blue in it. Green has blue and yellow in it. So when you have red, blue, and yellow all mixed together, you end up with a black. So I'm hoping that this is not going to be too much of a mistake, but we're going to just count it a shadow if it turns to black. For me, the easiest way to remember complementary colors is you look for the missing, oh, actually it turned out pretty good, y'all. It looks like a shadow. All right, here we go. You look for the missing primary color. All right, here we go. See if I can do this without dropping this on my project. Lifting it up. I got a little bit of a bleed there, but that's going to have to be okay. We may have to find something to put on top of it. How am I doing on time? 41. All right, let me dry this again. It's not bad. A little bit of a bleed there, but what I'll do is I'll just I don't know, we'll find something to cover it up with. Piece of bling or something. All right, let's see what else I have over here. Maybe we need a tomato or some garlic. Maybe we'll put some garlic in here. So what do y'all think so far? Should we have stayed with just the one carrot? Say carrot if you think I should have stopped at the carrot. Say bunch if you like the bunch of vegetables. That way I know you're still there and you're listening. Thanks, Lisa. All right, so I think we need to get some garlic in here. Maybe we'll put a piece of garlic over here. And I think we need something red in here. Some peas. Maybe the peas need to go over here. A lot of green. We'll see. then we're going to take our parchment paper and we're going to heat set this. That locks the ink in there. 30 seconds on one side, and then we should turn it inside out, and we'll have 30 seconds on the inside. But I'm going to wait and do the inside all at one time. I just want to make sure that we get this. All right, I'm thinking, let's see here. All right, then I'm going to move this and hit another 30 seconds because my heat press isn't long enough to, it does look like a shadow. That was what I was hoping for, Cindy, and it actually, that's what happened. So it's kind of like the top of it looks like, you know, like there's a shadow or lack of sun or light or whatever. So God bless me. He does that. He's like, you just step out there and I'll catch you. And he does all the time. I keep him busy in a good way. All right, here we go. We got this. All right, this is what we have so far. All right, so now we got a radish in there. I gotta figure out how I want to do this. We could do a garlic up at the top, maybe. What do y'all think? Do you think we should put this on here, or should we just leave the vegetables in a bunch by themselves? I need your input. What you think? Okay, so that's good. All right, you cannot see the orange, the yellow part of the corn through the turnip, but you can see the imprint of that. So I want to keep that in mind when I move forward. Like the corn, the leaf on the corn, you can see that it's purple, but you can see it's like it's embossed, but it doesn't feel embossed, if that makes any sense. All right, let's see. I need to get this out of the way. Let's do oops. Got some green on this. Sometimes you can scratch off the fibers. All right, should we put I think we need either a tomato, maybe a tomato. But do I want to put it there, or do I want to put it over here or down here? Maybe down here. No. Maybe over here. All right, hang on. I don't know what I want to do, y'all. I'm searching. I want to get these peas on here. Maybe the peas will go right there. Maybe we'll do the peas. It's a lot of green though. I could do the tomato or the radish. If I do the radish, I'll bring, I'm thinking. Or the peas. I kind of like the peas. I'm gonna go with the peas, y'all. I need to add some water to this though, because it's kind of thick. I'm just gonna stir this up, and I better get it off of my project because it likes to splatter on me. All right, this is better. It was just getting kind of thick. This is a water-based ink, paint, whatever you want to call it. And as you leave the jars open, the water in it evaporates, and then you eventually have to add more. And I add distilled water. I only use distilled water to my paints. All right, that looks better. All right, we're gonna clean that off. Let's see if we can go with the peas. I think I want to try getting some peas on here. So we're gonna bring this in here, and maybe just barely cross over that carrot. I want the tip of the carrot to still be out. All right, here we go, y'all. How are we doing on time? 48. I'm at 12 minutes. Again, I want to go next to this area so I don't go off onto the canvas. And I think we're going to be good there. All right, here we go. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use two different colors. I'm going to use a different green this time. I have a light green and this is called Pesto. I'm going to use Pesto. And this is Sage. Okay. And I'm going to do the inside of the peas. Let's see how, I think I need a smaller, hang on. I got another tool somewhere. Where did it go? Oh no. Here it is. All right. I'm going to use what's called a detail tool because this is really, really small. Now you can also cut the squeegees down to the size that you need, but this is called a detail tool, and you can see that's even smaller. All right, so here we go, y'all. We're going to come in here. And I'm going to do the inside of the peas in a lighter color. And I don't want to do too much more. Because I don't want it to be too busy. And I'm just dipping that in there. And then coming in here. So what y'all are seeing is a variety of levels of chalking. What I'm doing right now is a little bit more advanced. You could just take and do the peas all in one color. When you only work with one color, it's just kind of squeegee it on off, on down, and it's pretty straightforward. But when you start working with a variety of colors, that's when your level of difficulty increases. And, you know, I started with just doing everything in one color and messed up. Messed up a lot. I still mess up. But I also move forward because I'm willing to test those boundaries. All right, here we go. And that's how we grow, as we expand our boundaries, right? Did anybody have anything exciting happen to them this week that that God worked in your life? I would love to hear it. I love to hear it when God moves. All right, here we go. Just coming in here. I have some things that are going on, but I can't share any of them yet. But He's working. He's carrying me through some stuff. Okay. All right, there is that. Let me wipe off my detail tool. And now I'm going to put this lid on. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to go around these peas. Just a little bit at a time. Now the peas are going to take a little bit more time because I have to make sure that I don't go into, I think I'm going to switch tools here because this is not, it's a little bit small for this, what I want to do. Let me switch tools and see what happens. It's a little bit better. How am I doing on time? 53. Okay. I think we're going to stop at the P's. For those of you who are intercessors, I would appreciate it if you prayed for our son to get his music produced and out there. He has a lot of really good songs that that people need to hear. He pretty much is, enjoys being out in the world and finding people who don't know Jesus. So his name is Adam, and if God brings him to mind, if you wouldn't mind lifting him up to get his music produced so that he can reach those that God wants him to reach. All right, here we go. Just trying to move this along a little bit faster. Ooh, 54. We may or may not get a bag on here. We'll see. I haven't seen anybody say they want the bag. Does anybody want the bag on here? You want me to just leave the vegetables? Either say bag or no bag. But this is a good way for y'all to see a lot of the different levels of difficulty with Chalk Couture. This is probably one of the most intricate that I've done. And then I got one more P to do, one more pod. We'll see. We'll see how this is going to turn out. Nobody's commenting about the bag. I'm kind of thinking I may leave the bag off due to the time constraint. Well, I want to thank Grace Creations for having me today. For those of you that don't have anything to do and you can hang around, we'd love for you to hang around and see Lisa with Little of Me Gifts and Specialties. Lisa's going to follow me, and she always does a beautiful job with she's got a variety of different talents, of mediums and everything that she uses, and she's got a wealth of information tucked under her hat that a lot of people I don't think always see. She's worked with a lot of different forms of crafting and has a lot to offer and teach. So when you're done, when I'm done, if you will refresh your page, and all right, here we go. At 4 o'clock, Lisa will be on. That's in 3 minutes. So let me lift this up and reveal what we have. This is all we have time for, so I think this is all we're going to do. Oh, look at those little peas, will you? So cute. All right, putting this in the water. It doesn't look like I'm going to have time to show y'all how to clean these, but that's okay. You can always go to my page and hey, Joyce. I still kind of want to see how this bag's going to turn out. I haven't decided. We'll see. I'll show you what I have here in just a minute. I'm not going to have time to heat set this last one. I feel like I need to add a tomato in here so that we have some red. Got a lot of green. I think we need maybe a tomato right down here or something. All right, let me show you what I have because this is all I have time for. And I'm going to put that in the water and get this green out of the way. And I'm going to make sure my hands are clean. I got paint pants on, so here we go, y'all. This is what I have so far. So this is our vegetable bag. And this is a Chalk Couture stencil. If any of y'all are interested in finding it, you can message me and I can help you with that. But so the process is if you're working with fabric, you're going to use ink, and then you want to make sure that you put that you heat set your design, and that it'll go through the washer and dryer, no trouble, and all of that. All right, I am Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs. Hit the refresh button. Lisa with Little Me's, I don't know why, Little of Me Gifts and Specialties. She's going to follow me, and I'm sure she's going to have something amazing. Thank you again to Grace Creations for having me. I'm glad that I could join y'all today. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday, a great Sunday, and I won't be back on my page until Monday. God bless you. I love you, and Jesus loves you more. Bye, y'all.